Hiya!
Hello!
Welcome to the Geeky Girls Knit Podcast. I'm Cece, also known as Java Pearl.
I'm Dammy, also known as Dammy's Doodles.
And we're glad to have you today. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of May, 2017, and this is episode 244. We're getting ever closer to the 250 mark. We'd like to say a big welcome back. We love you guys. To all our returning viewers, and a big hiya to any new viewers. Thanks for giving us a shot. We hope you enjoy the show. You'll notice that our backdrop has changed. We are packing. We'll talk more about move in a little bit. But yes, we realize that our backdrop has changed. Dammy, I forgot where I was going with this. We've had some people join the group and introduce themselves this week, so why don't you give them a shout out?
Okay. Robin, who is Frosty Spice from Michigan. Caitlin, who is the Knitting Oboe from Delaware. Jamie, who is Selmer 1958 from Maryland. Marguerite, who is Happy Mistake Maker from Cape Town, South Africa. And Kathy, who is Crafty Kathy K from Florida.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you guys. Thanks for introducing yourselves. So, Dammy, if somebody is not a member of our group, what should they do and why?
You should join and introduce yourself in our introductions thread because you'll get a shout out on our next episode and you'll be able to participate in all our cows and giveaways.
Not cows.
Owls.
Owls and giveaways. Alongs. We're still learning. We're still working on it. So we have quite a bit to talk about today and a new pattern I was releasing. So stay tuned for that. So we probably should get started. Here we go.
And now we're going to talk about what's on our needles.
What's on your needles, Dammy?
So I am still working on my knee-high Carraghan socks. This is the French Vanilla Cappuccino socks pattern, and it's on US 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters, and the yarn is Easy Knit Steeply Wicked Plus in the Neon Night colorway. So I'm on the leg increases for it, the second one.
So, do you have the first one with you? Hold them up to each other and see how.
This one is folded differently.
Well, yeah, but look, watch, you can do this. Hold that.
I had it all folded the way I wanted.
I will put it back. But if we do, oops, it's upside down. If we do like this, you can kind of see how much more you have to go. So, you're making really good progress. I will refold it the way you had it.
That's my in progress one.
Oops.
But just let me keep it. So that's all.
That's all.
That I'm working on.
What do you think you're gonna cast on next?
I really don't know.
Are you gonna maybe cast on that the new design one?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you have any thoughts about what you're going to work on while we're traveling?
No.
Okay. She hasn't thought about any of this, y'all.
So what are you working on?
Okay, well, I'm working on a lot of things. So first up is my zigzag blanket. This is the 10-stitch zigzag pattern by Frankie Brown. It's on US 4 3.5 mil needles, and the yarn is
Laughing Yaffle yarns in the Tree Frog color?
Tree Frog is the colorway. I think Laughing Yaffle is right. So I think I counted last night. Now I can't remember. I think I've got 13 out of the 20 zigzags done for this stripe. So I'm working on that, and then what will go on next is Ginger Twist Studio.
Sheepish.
I know, it was covering up the name of the thing. This is a Sheepish sock in the Liquid Sunshine colorway. So that will be the next stripe, and I will finish that just before we move. So, and then it will get vacuum sucked, packed into the
Vacuum packed.
in the bag, and it sucks out all the air. I did that yesterday with some other stuff. It goes just like that. Okay, and then after that, I am working. That's the right bag. I'm working on the Joss wrap, which is a pattern by Libby Johnson, also known as Truly Myrtle, and I'm doing this on US 5 3.75 mil needles. And the yarn is Woolmy's Sock and Wool 80/20 Twin in the Nobody's Perfect colorway, and Woolmy's Wild Thing 80/20 Twin in the We're Different colorway. So I didn't get a ton done on this. You guys, my knitting time has been really not much because of trying to pack. But I started working, so I've got this all rolled up to where it's easy to knit on. I had finished that lace down there, and I had finished the stripes. I think I had just done maybe like one row of this lace up here. So I'm into the second repeat of the lace out of, I think, 5 before I do another stripe section. So it's coming along. It'll get done eventually. And then I am moving to, okay, so I started knitting these Fairy Footsteps, can't remember what I named them, Friendly Fairy Footsteps shorty socks for my bestie Katie and I. And I'd shown y'all that I had gotten Katie's into Stash Dash hiatus. So this one's done, and this one just needs a little bit to finish, so it's on waste yarn. But I got mine into Stash Dash hiatus too. So this one's done, and this one is on waste yarn. So Stash Dash starts on Friday. So so if you don't know about Stash Dash, it is a along hosted by Laura and Leslie of the Knit Girls podcast, and you try to work through your stash. So, but you can have projects. You can count all the yardage of a project as long as you do some work on it. So that is why I've done some work on, and left a little bit of work to be done on that. And then I will get those both done over the weekend. But since I got those into hiatus mode, I cast on a pair of birthday socks for my bestie's little boy, Noah, who is turning 6 this year. He was 2 when we met him, and I cannot believe he's turning 6. So I'm using my French Vanilla Cappuccino sock pattern, but I'm not going to put a heel in. I'm just going to let it be a tube sock. But his feet have gotten big enough that I'm doing 56 stitch. So I am on US 1.5, 2.5 mil needles, and I'm going to use this Third Vault Yarns Librarian sock in the Espresso Campana colorway for the toe and cuff. And then this is West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply Cocktail Collection in the Blue Lagoon colorway. It looks familiar because this is what I did the Hub's birthday socks in. So it's a 4-color stripe. It's hard to see the color change in there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 colors. So I have just started on those, and so I'm getting those knit up for him. And then I am also working on, because I'm not doing anything else, y'all, so I might as well work on 30 bazillion things at once. I'm doing some wedding bunting triangles for our pal Jess, who owns Ginger Twist Studio. And the pattern is Swatchtastic by Tin Can Knits. It's on US 6's 4 mil needles, and you can look on my project page for the colorways. So I had 12, I think, done when we recorded last week, and I've done 13, 14, 15, 16, and right now I am knitting number 17, and I'm going to try to see if I can have it done by the end of the podcast for 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I've got 28 stitches, and I have to increase to 44. So we will see if I can get that done. My goal is to do 20 of them for her, you know, so that way I can be a part of the wedding even though we're not going to be here. So, and then the other thing that I've done a little bit of work on is it has always been forever for me, Sassenach shawl, which is an Outlander inspired shawl that I'm designing. It's on US 4's 3.5 mil needles, and I'm using Ginger's hand-dyed Masham Mayhem 4-ply in the Voyager and Jamaican Jewels colorways. And this is going to go up for pre-order at the beginning of July, and it will be a 6 to 8 week pre-order, because after y'all pre-order, Jess will have to ship the yarn to me. So we need a little more time so she has time to dye it and then get it shipped over to the US. But the good news for y'all in the US, that means shipping is going to be cheaper for y'all than when I had to ship out kits from here. So, And I think we're also trying to work out that if it's somebody here, if I can get the goodies to Jess, then she could ship it here. And that way the shipping for both UK and US would be cheaper. So we're trying to work out those details. That's everything I'm working on. It's a lot, I know. But next week, y'all, I'm going to have all the FOs because I will have finished Jeremy's birthday socks. I will have finished both Katie and my shorty socks. That's 3 projects right there. So, and hopefully I'll have finished all the wedding bunting triangles. Mm-hmm. So, y'all are going to get all the FOs next week. Yay. All right. Well, I do have one FO, so let's move on and talk about it.
And now we're going to talk about her finished project.
I have one. This is the, oops, I scrolled too far and then I don't have the stuff. This is my 21st preemie hat for the year. I know the color is like washing out there. That's a little better. This is from my free top-down preemie hat on Ravelry. It's on US 6's 4mm needles, and the yarn is Janelle Baby 4-ply in the light blue and white colorways. And I just, it's a fingering weight 4-ply, so I just held it double to do the hat. And that's what I finished this week. I went through my preemie hat stash, and I'm donating a bunch of it to some other knitters locally that do charity knitting. So the only things I kept out were these 2 colorways and then 2 other variegated colorways. So I'm going to try to work through as much of this as I can before we leave. And I also think I might try to go ahead and do the preemie hat for the Sunday we're flying before we leave, and that way I'm still on track to do 52 in the year. Or if it just gets too crazy, I can always do 2 hats after we get in the States one week. So we'll make it work. So that is finished. On to the next segment thing. We're going to talk about stuff. Let's go. And now it's time for our favorite part of the show, Yummies. What are yummies, Tammy?
Yummies are our current favorite things, things we like, things we want to talk to you about.
Yummies. And first off, we want to say a massive thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you guys a whole lot. Thank you so much for your kind words and support and just everything after our announcement that we're moving back to the States next we're not moving back to the States next week. I was trying to say the announcement was last week that we're moving back to the States. We said that we're going to Oregon, but I realized that I didn't tell y'all really where we're going in Oregon. Not purposefully, like I was not talking about it. I don't know, it just slipped my mind. But several of y'all contacted me and Jilly about it, going, are y'all going to be together? And yes, we are. So Jilly, Vegan Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast, lives southeast of Portland, and she and her family have been so kind and generous to let us stay with them while we figure out a job for the hubs. So yes, Jilly and I are going to be together. Expect some guest spots on each other's podcasts probably, and lots of pictures and knitting and coffee and tea, because we'll be together and we're very excited. So we actually fly out 3 weeks from this coming Sunday. So it's like, what, maybe 25 days from now or something like that. So, and then, yeah. So, yeah. And a bazillion times thank you to everyone who bought something in our D-stash. Every single skein of yarn that we had up in D-stash is gone. Mm-hmm. Most of it has been shipped out. If I had received payment by midday Monday, it's already been shipped out. If it came in after that, it is sitting in the floor, and unless something happens, I'm going to go ship out the rest of it tomorrow. There is a little bit of stuff left. If you would like to, if you've ever had the desire to try to knit with a silk hanky, spin, you can knit with it though. You just have to pull it. If you've ever had the desire to spin or knit with silk hankies, Dammy has a couple that would just give you a taste test of it.
It's the only fiber thing left.
Yeah. And then everything else that is left is display stuff, correct? Am I right? Hold on. Let me look. Let me pull up the
And a
list.
sewing machine.
Yes, if you are local and looking for a sewing machine, Dammy has marked down the price to 35 pounds. So what is left? We have a set of blocking wires, but you would need to be local to get that. And then we have a lot of show stuff. We have wooden feet for displaying. We have a child-sized mannequin foot. We have adult-sized mannequin feet. Oh, that's gone too. I need to mark it off. We have small S hooks. Oh, that's gone too. We have the sewing machine, and we have a Kath Kidston pink with white polka dots bag left. That is everything that is left. That is knitting world related. We have other stuff that we're selling. If you're in the area and you need furniture, send me a message and I'll send you a link to all the stuff that I've posted. Yeah, but thank you so much to everyone who, I think we could have sold more yarn because we had people interested and some stuff sold really, really fast. And yeah, so thank you a million times. Thank you. We are very sad, like we said last week, to be leaving Edinburgh because we really love it here. But we are very excited to be going to just be with Jilly. I'm really excited about being with Jilly, but also just to see what's next for us. So, oh, and we had several of y'all reach out to help us when we arrive. So we have a place to stay in Portland when we arrive on this Sunday, and one of y'all is graciously going to pick us up and drive us to Jilly's house. The knitting community. Oh my gosh. Just, I've said it like 30 zillion times this week. I cannot believe how kind and generous this community is and how supportive, and I'm trying not to cry. Just thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about Dammy. We went and did an amazing thing this week.
Yes, we went to see a show at the Festival Theatre here in Edinburgh. Jane Eyre, the National Theatre production of it.
So I've linked in the show notes actually the information on it from the Bristol Old Vic, because that's where it started. So what did you think?
I enjoyed it.
I did too. It was not totally what I was expecting. So the set for the show was static through the whole thing. But the way that they utilized it to tell different parts of the story was really amazing. I did not expect for there to be any music. And there was this woman who was an amazing singer that sang at different points. It wasn't a musical, but she sang at different points during the show. It was about a 3-hour show. It was pretty long. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. Of course, they had to change things. And since I had just finished rereading the book, I was like, oh, they changed that. Oh, they left that out. So I bet, of course, they're going to have to do that. They cannot fit it all in 3 hours otherwise. So, but they are still doing some more shows. This is the traveling.
Not here.
Not here, but it's a traveling thing of it. Touring thing. So check out the link in the show notes. I think we'll get you to a list of places they're still planning to go if you're here in the UK. Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Jane Eyre?
Rochester made eye contact with me twice.
Okay. And how did you feel about that?
Concerned.
There was real fire.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Something else amazing happened this week that I just think, you guys, Dammy doesn't want to talk about this. I am having to force her to talk about this because she doesn't really care that this happened.
The original Broadway cast recording of The Great Comet came out on Friday.
You haven't listened to it at all, have you?
No.
None. 0 times. How many times do you think you've listened to it?
I don't know. I've been putting it on shuffle. And so...
Well, then things get confusing and out of order. How many times do you think you've listened to it?
I don't know.
10?
I don't know.
30?
I don't know. 100.
So, what do you think of it?
I really like it, and you should get it.
Yeah, there's a link in the show notes. What's your favorite song? Only one from the new album. How about this? What's your favorite song from each act? I thought that would make it easier. So you get to pick 2.
I guess maybe No One Else in the first act and The Abduction in the second one.
Okay, so give them some context of what those 2 songs are.
No One Else is Natasha's solo. She's singing about Andre, her fiancé, because she really loves him. And she misses him because he's at war.
What is it good for?
And The Abduction, it's got like a 5-minute long dance break, because everyone is partying because Natasha is gonna try to elope with Anatole, who's a problem.
A big problem.
Yeah, but it's still a big party.
Yeah. My favorite song, going into the next thing on the show notes, is Dust and Ashes by Josh Groban. And there is a video.
Sung by Pierre. You have to say that.
Josh Groban.
Pierre.
There's a music video of it. I played it again this morning because I was trying to get thee in bed. You were taking a shower. And I was listening to it and singing it. It keeps, the line that keeps coming, that I keep singing repeatedly this week. Bury me in Burgundy, I just don't care. Dun, dun, dun,
What
dun,
is
dun,
that?
dun, dun.
That was not a good Pierre impression. I'm sorry.
I wasn't trying to be Pierre. I was just singing the song.
No. Okay.
So you should look at the music video because it's really, really, really awesome. Really. So, and they've been nominated for 10 Tonys.
12.
12 Tonys. And so, okay. Is there a date that they are on Broadway until?
There isn't a set closing date right now, but they are selling tickets through January 2nd, 2018.
Okay. Is there any plan for it to be a touring thing like Hamilton has done?
I don't know right now,
Okay.
but I think it would be kind of difficult because of their stage design.
Oh, that's true.
Like, they would have to completely, not demolish, but reformat any theater they played in.
Do a refitting. Or they would have to figure out some way to do it where it's not so audience
What they
driven,
can't
which
do
is
it like
probably
that.
going to not be possible at all.
Yeah. I'm curious as to how they're going to perform at the Tony Awards, because the Tony Awards, like, they have the big stage and then the whole audience, but I think there are aisles, so I'm pretty sure at some point they're going to come off the stage into the aisles.
Which is not uncommon for things to do.
Yeah, I think they're performing The Abduction again like they did on the Today Show.
Okay.
So.
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right, do you want to say anything else about The Great Comet?
No.
Okay, then we're going to talk about Doctor Who. Because when this podcast goes live, my brand new sock pattern, inspired by the 12th Doctor, will be released. It is called, but I think I came up with magician socks. And like I said, it's inspired by the 12th Doctor. So okay, let me just show you. Didn't Julia do an amazing job on the colorway? It's just stunning. Okay, so what the pattern design is this cable, and it's called a Scottish faggoting cable, which I felt was very appropriate since Peter Capaldi is Scottish. And then the remainder of the sock is 6 guitar strings because of the electric guitar that he plays. And then it repeats it on the back. So there's the cable, and then there's the 6 guitar strings. This is both toe up and cuff down. So whichever way you want to knit it. I love this cable. Can you see it in depth? So beautiful. And then it's mostly pearl with a twisted.
It's mostly lace. You cable every 6 rows, I think, or every 12.
Yeah.
And
then
it's just 2 stitches.
and the and then the it's been a while since you did the sample. The guitar strings is just a pearl background with a twisted knit stitch to give it the detail. So, I have a coupon code for this. Okay, the coupon code is 12. Capital letters, the word 12, because it's the 12th Doctor. And this is going to give you, are you ready for this? 24% off the price. Do you want to know why? Because it's the 12th Doctor, and the 12th Doctor has 2 hearts, so 12 times 2 is 24. So this code is going to be valid until Saturday the 27th. So it's just a 3-day long sale, but you should definitely get it. I love how it turned out. And yeah, so I was really excited to work with Julia again with her yarn, and all the kits have been delivered, and so now the pattern's going live. So get your copy of But I Think I Came Up with Magician Socks. That's something that the doctor says shortly after his regeneration. So that's a quote. There you go. And these would work for guys or girls, because it's not like a lacy pattern. It's just some detail in there. So get the pattern and knit it for yourself or somebody in your life that loves Doctor Who. All right. Do we have any other yummies to talk about, Dammy?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk about hashtag GGK Crafty Pad. What is it, Dammy?
It stands for Geeky Girls Knit Crafty Photo a Day Challenge. We have a list of photo prompts for each month, so you take a look at the prompt for that day, take a picture related to it, and post it anywhere you like, but we pick our favorites from Instagram.
That's right. Well, we are getting close to the end of May. We will have the June prompt list we'll release next week. So we'll have that for you next week on the podcast and also on social media. Yeah, I don't know that I have anything specific to say. So what are we about to show them?
2 photos from us that we liked and 5 photos from other people that we liked.
Here come the photos. So great job, everybody. We're not copying for them. It's never too late to join in. Just take a look at the prompts list. When is today's prompt?
Look on the calendar.
That's what I'm doing. Hope. You're my only hope. Hope. So you take a picture related to the prompt. You can interpret it however you want. We're totally fine with any way you interpret it. You take the picture. You post it on Instagram. Make sure in your caption you use hashtag GGKCraftyPad, and your picture might get chosen as one of our favorites for the week. All right, Dammy, we have one upcoming event that we're going to be attending. Why don't you tell us about it?
It is the 2017 Indy Brough Craft Crawl on Saturday, the 17th of June. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And we will be vending at at the pop-up market.
Yes.
And then there's an after party there too?
Yes.
Yes.
If you want to know more about it, you can go to their Ravelry group. If you are interested in any of the display stuff that we have left in our D-stash, we would be happy to bring it along to Hema for you to pick up there. Or we can arrange to get together before that. So, all right, Dammy. Well, we have a bunch to talk about in TV this week because there was a bunch of season finales this week. So, we probably should move on.
And now we're going to talk about what we are reading and watching.
And listening to.
What
are you reading?
I am still reading The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, but again, I haven't gotten a lot through it because we've been busy
Packing. And sorting. Okay, anything about it you want to talk about?
No.
Okay.
So what are you reading?
I am reading Soul Bear, Stories of Redemption. It's by a bunch of different authors. It's a series of essays, and like I mentioned last week, it's been hard to focus on nonfiction, so having these short little essays I can read in about 5 minutes time or so have been perfect. So I'm really enjoying it. I am continuing to read reread Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness, using the All Souls real-time reading companion.
How long does this book take?
Well, it's like it's not like something happens every day. So I read a chapter, I don't know, for example, maybe I read a chapter a week ago, but then there's like 3 weeks with nothing.
Okay, but how long does this book take?
I don't know, but I think I'm like around 80% done with it or something. It's just, it's the breaks, the waiting. I mean, there was at one point, there was like a whole month with nothing. So, and the other thing I've been reading is the King Fountain series by Jeff Wheeler, which is available through Kindle Unlimited. I read the first 3 books, and then there's a prequel to it that came out. And so I'm reading that one right now. But there's 3 more books in this series that'll be coming out. But this is not his only series. And so I have some of his other series ready to start reading when I finish this. One of y'all recommended this author and his books to me at some point in the last few months. And I am loving them so much. There's some fantasy in it, but it's set like, I don't even know a time period, like a time where there's kings and war and they're fighting for their land, and it's not present day. It's probably, I don't know. It might say, I don't know, like 1600s, something like that. But there is a twist of fantasy in it. Yeah, so I'm really, really enjoying it. I wasn't sure at first when I started reading. I was like, I don't know, because I'm not usually really like a history person, and parts of it are based on, like, the author took something that happened in history and used it kind of as an overarching theme of something that happens or whatever. But I'm really, really, really enjoying them. And, yeah, so check them out. The King Fountain series by Jeff Wheeler. I'm enjoying them a lot. Okay, let's talk about some TV. No, I need to start. The hubs and I are watching season 1 of Andromeda, and it continues to be cheesy, but just a really good, just escape in the midst of craziness in our house. You can tell just by the craziness. These are the hub's books because we sold his bookshelf. So we had to stack all his books somewhere because we sold his big tall bookshelf. So, and I packed most of my stash. I was trying to decide what to leave out. I left these 3 skeins out. Well, that's a sock blank because I need something to knit, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to knit when I finished all my projects. So, okay, why don't you take it now?
We're watching rewatching season 2 of Sanctuary.
Yes. It's a good show. I love this show a lot. Yeah. Okay, go for the season finales.
Okay, the season 4 finale of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, Robbie, Ghost Rider, killed Ada, so she's gone now. And then...
You don't think she's coming back, do you?
I don't know. You never know. And then Yo-Yo and Mac made it back. Did you make it rhyme on purpose?
No, I was just trying to say they made
it out of the framework.
Yes.
And then at the very end of the episode, some people in suits...
In space, maybe?
No, they weren't in space then.
Oh.
They were at a diner.
Okay.
And they were like, the window closes in 2 minutes, take them. And then the window is just space, apparently.
Yeah, like, Coulson was sleeping, and then he got up, and he was looking out the window, and there he's in space.
Mm-hmm.
So what the crap happened? Oh my gosh. Okay, NCIS, the season 14 finale. I am confused, because we had been told that this was supposed to be Ducky's last episode, but it wasn't.
What was it?
Well, I mean, they're not just like making him go away without saying something about it.
I don't know.
But
Why don't you look it up later?
McGee and Gibbs are in Paraguay, and they are being shot at. Paraguay.
Why?
And they're being shot at. Lots of exclamation points, and it's to be continued. So maybe like the first episode of the next season is going to be Ducky's last. They better not kill him off. I will be livid. They messed with the credits.
Because they had to put a new person in.
They took away the best part of the credits. And I am bitter and have been angry, and I will not watch the credits this entire season because of this.
If they had left the elevator bit in, would you have still watched it even though they added 2 new people in?
Yes.
I know, 3 new
Yes.
people.
They took out the best part.
So you would still watch it
Yes.
if the elevator bit was in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The bit, if you don't know, it's when McGee's in the elevator and he's like acting like he's like turning on a jetpack to go flying.
Jet suit.
Jet suit.
What is that?
It's a vacuum space bag. Okay. And then the husband and I watched the season 3 finale. Okay, the reason we are looking further down is because I also sold the TV trays that our laptops usually sit on. And so instead of it being like just below the camera, it's like down on a dining room chair. Because I keep selling everything. Season 3 finale of NCIS New Orleans. They stopped Hamilton. They kept the explosion from happening in Clearwater. Hamilton was arrested. Pride got his badge back. And it was so sweet. The jukebox in Pride's bar still works. And then the team and other people were coming in to help him remake the bar after it was exploded.
Exploded.
Yes. All right, do you want to do the next one?
What is the next? Oh, we watched the season 2 finale of Blind Spot. So they stopped Shepard, and then Nas is interrogating her. And Jane let Roman go, and then Jane and Kurt got together, and they did a time jump that I wasn't expecting.
Me neither.
Of 2 years later, and Jane left the FBI apparently, and she's on top of a mountain, and Kurt finds her. They were married, ? And I fixed your spelling. Reed, Zapata, and Patterson have been kidnapped, apparently. There was a box delivered that required both of them to open it.
Jane and Kurt is who we're
Yes.
speaking, both of them.
And when the thing in the box,
He held it up to her neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then it displayed, it was this light, and it made new tattoos all over her body.
I'm thinking it's an ultraviolet light, and it was made with ultraviolet ink.
So, it will be really interesting when it comes back if they jump us back to just after they've stopped Shepard, or if they start us at the 2 years later point. Do you want to talk about the next one? Because I've got a lot to say about the one after that.
Sure. We watched the 2-part season 2 finale of Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. So an unsub from a really old case went after Jack's family, and Jack's son had to shoot him to survive, but Jack is okay.
Yes, and then they had a beautiful meal in the backyard. And yeah. All right, Supernatural, season 12, 2-part finale. Are you ready? Because I have a lot to say about this. They beat the British Men of Letters, BMAL is what I call them for short, and they unbrainwashed Mary.
Should it not be B-Mole?
BMAL.
B-Mole.
I think it's because my mom, her name is Becky, and so the grandkids call her BMA. And so I think...
I know, that's why. It sounds too similar.
Well, I think that's why I say it that way, is because of BMA. BMAL.
B-Mole.
Crowley. Okay, you remember last week I was like, what was the deal with the mouse rat thing, whatever? It was rat. Crowley saved himself when Lucifer stabbed him with the angel blade by putting his soul into the rat.
So how do you get his body back?
The rat like followed the body and it was buried, and then the rat put the soul back into his body and Crowley like crawled out of the grave. That is what happened.
Okay.
Okay. Lucifer killed Rowena, which is Crowley's mom.
I thought she was dead.
No. She was alive. Now she's dead and burned. He burned her body. The Nephilim being born tore a hole into an alternate universe where, wait for it, Bobby was still alive. Is still alive. Where he is still alive. And it's a world where Sam and Dean were never born, and thus they never saved the world, and so it's kind of like a, it's just like, I don't even know.
Desolate.
Desolate, that's the word. Despairing. People are killed. The demons are attacking. All kinds of stuff. Bobby made angel-killing bullets out of angel blades. They tried to trap Lucifer in the other world. Crowley sacrificed his life to do this. He killed himself because it needed a human life, or a life to do it. And Castiel was killed? ? We're not 100% sure, at least in my opinion. Lucifer pulled Mary into the other world with him, and then the hole was sealed. So Lucifer and Mary are now in the desolate world where Bobby is. The Nephilim was born. Lucy, who was the...
You spelled it wrong. It's I-M.
That's how it corrected it in there when I was typing it on the computer.
It's supposed to be I-M.
Lucy, who was the one that was the mother of the Nephilim, she died giving birth, and then all of a sudden, the Nephilim is like grown up to be at least teenager age, maybe young adult age, and that's how they ended it. Okay, I'm just like, okay, so they're going to have to reopen this hole into the alternate universe to get Mary back. But if that happens, Lucifer could come back through, but then Bobby could come through and they would have Bobby back on the show full time. Crowley, do we think he's going to ever come back? Because people die. I was talking about this with the Hubs and Tammy.
People die.
I was like, in this show, people die and come back to life all the time. Like, how many times have Dean and Sam been killed and come back? A bazillion.
She asked me this, and I was like, I don't watch the show.
I know, but I was just kind of saying it like, how many times does this happen? People die and come back repeatedly. So I have a feeling Crowley's probably going to come back. I'm not sure about Rowena. Castiel better not really be dead, or if he is, they need to bring him back because I love his character. And what's going to happen with this Nephilim? Is like the world ending because of this Nephilim being born?
Is this a nice baby?
We don't know. All we know is that his eyes glowed.
What color?
Kind of a yellowy color. Supernatural. I had to rewatch the second part of it because there was just so much stuff that happened, and I was just like, my brain couldn't wrap itself around all of it, so I had to rewatch it. So, okay, why don't you talk about the next thing, because I'm going to talk about the one after it. I'm going to get some water.
Okay, we watched the 2-part season 4 finale of The Blacklist. So Mr. Kaplan jumped off a bridge.
And killed herself.
Yeah, and then Reddington and Wrestler got the investigation to the team stopped, but then Wrestler accidentally killed the national security advisor, and then Liz found out that Reddington is her father.
Yes, they did a DNA test.
Yes, but like the way Dimbe was talking to him after, like, you didn't deny it. Like,
well, because he's denied it all along, because she asked if he was her father at least once, if not multiple times.
Okay. And then Tom has a suitcase for Mr. Kaplan that is for Liz that has a dead body, a really old dead body in it. And Reddington does not want her to receive it because it is her mother.
It is.
I think.
I don't know. I didn't feel like that was confirmed. I was going to say I'm not sure who it was, but Kaplan was ready to give it to her, and then, yeah. But how is, like, so has Tom been, like, connected with Mr. Kaplan this whole time to, quit tickling my foot with your toe. Don't you do it. We have fights about this. I do not like to be tickled at all. The Hubs and Tammy both. I'm like, leave me alone. I do not like to be tickled.
What were you saying?
Dead body.
Yes.
In the suitcase. Has Tom been connected with Mr. Kaplan this whole time?
I don't know.
Because Mr. Kaplan took the job of taking care of Liz and making sure she was safe very seriously. So did she have Tom brought in on it?
Okay.
Okay. Doctor Who Series 10. The doctor still won't tell Bill that he is blind. And then Missy! I love Missy, even though she's so evil. So evil. So the doctor was using his sonic sunglasses to see because he's blind. And so it was like this, it was like a computer generated being able to tell, like, oh, there's a male who's 55 years old in front of me or whatever. And then from River's journal, I always say his name wrong. Nardole.
Dole. Like
Nardole.
the pineapple company.
Nardole.
That's how it's spelled too. D-O-L-E.
Nardole quoted this from River's journal. I went to the transcripts to get it for you so you would get to hear it word by word from me. Are you ready for this? Goodness is not goodness that seeks advantage. Good is good in the final hour, in the deepest pit, without hope, without witness, without reward. Virtue is only virtue in extremis. This is what he believes, and this is the reason, above all, I love him. My husband, my madman in a box, my doctor. I love River. And then we finally found out what was in the vault. It's Missy, because he swore an oath to look after Missy for 1,000 years. 1,000 years, that's why she's in the vault. But something big is coming. And I watched, there was another trailer for next week. There's a pyramid, and these weird alien guys from this week's episode are in it. And they want to destroy the world. All the humans. And I don't know, if just from the way they were playing it, I think Bill is going to find out that he's blind. I'm interested to see if they continue the blindness thing through the rest of the series. And how it will affect regenerations, if a further regeneration would be blind. See, I'm wondering why. Okay, so you remember back when 10 lost his hand?
Yep.
And he used some regeneration energy to grow a new one?
Mm.
Why doesn't the 12 just use some regeneration energy to get his sight back?
I don't know.
Don't
Maybe he doesn't want to use it up.
Well, but he's got like an unlimited amount now. After the events with 11. And I'm wondering how long they're going to make us wait to find out who's going to be the new doctor.
I don't know.
We shall see. All right. Do you want to talk about the next one and the last one both, or you want me to talk about the next one and you talk about the last one?
I'll talk about the last one.
Okay. So Elementary, the season 5 finale. They arrested the leader of SBK. Shinwell was going to confess to killing his friend after he took down SBK.
And we knew this already.
Yeah, but Sherlock didn't know it.
Yeah. And did you figure out how to spell it? Shinwell? 2 words.
Pineapple.
No, SSBK, not SPK.
No, SBK.
SBK.
I know, that's what I said, SBK.
No, but you typed SPK.
Oh. And the mystery woman, I figured this out before they revealed it, that Sherlock was seeing was his mother, who he's imagining because apparently he has a brain problem. Is it an injury? Is it a tumor? He is in the they ended it with him in the hospital having a CAT scan, MRI, one of those tests where they're looking.
I thought MRIs took longer and were really, really loud.
They are, so probably a CAT scan. They're looking inside his brain is what they're doing, because apparently something's going on. He's hallucinating, and he has not told Joan, which I would think he would have told her because she used to be a doctor. Even if it wasn't her specialty, she has connections still. We'll see what happens. All right, and the final finale for this week, because this episode has been all about the finales. I think that'll be a title in which it's all about the finales.
Okay.
Okay.
We watched the season 2 finale of Supergirl. So Kat said she's never watched Star Wars, and you were cracking up
Because Callista Flockhart, who plays
Callista
Flockhart, that plays Kat, is married to Harrison Ford, who I adore with all my heart. I love Harrison Ford. But it's funny because he's in Star Wars and she's saying she's never seen Star Wars. Oh, side note, it was very sad that Sir Roger Moore from James Bond passed away this week.
Mm-hmm.
And also, okay, total side note, the awful terrorist attack in Manchester. Prayers and love for all those families affected by this. We're flying into the Manchester airport. I think that's making my mother nervous a little bit. Okay, back to Supergirl. Never watched Star Wars. It was funny. I was cracking up laughing. The hubs didn't know why. I had to explain she's married to Harrison. All that jazz. Okay.
You spelled car wrong. It's with a K. Like Kal-El.
My lord.
This is what I have to deal with. So Lena and her mother adapted a device that Lex made too many L's to get rid of the Daxamites, and so Kara had to use it to put lead in the atmosphere to get rid of the Daxamites, and so that means Mon-El had to leave or die, and he went into space and got pulled into a portal.
I'm not sure where this portal goes to.
35 years ago, another baby was sent from Krypton to reign on Earth. What does that mean? Who is it?
I don't know why it says my. I think it was supposed to be a comma, and I was typing it on my iPad. So when this baby was sent out, they were saying he will grow. It will grow strong and reign on Earth. Who is it? And then we had a discussion with the hubs after it was over, and he thinks it is
Doomsday.
Because I was like, did this really happen in the comics? Are they staying true to canon that something happened, that there was another baby or whatever? He thinks it's Doomsday. We will see. Do you have any thoughts?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the comics, so. But Doomsday, they did have Doomsday in Smallville.
I don't remember.
I know. I would really like to watch that show. It was good. It was a lot of seasons, though. So.
Like 11?
I don't know. Something like that.
Okay,
but,
what are we also listening to?
Oh, what are we listening to? I'm looking up to see how many seasons. Oh. No, I got it. How many seasons Smallville has. I have been listening to the Spotify CC and Dammy Loves Musicals playlist, which you can find a link to in the show notes. And Dammy added some new songs from the new album. 217 episodes, 10 seasons.
Unaired pilot.
Ooh, I would like to watch that. Yeah, so she added some new songs from that.
From what?
From the album that you're about to tell us. that you have been listening to nonstop.
Yes, the Great Comet Broadway cast album
That we talked about in Yummies.
Mm-hmm.
So she added some songs for that. But here, this is how crazy it was yesterday. So you were gone to your theater class, and I had Spotify open on my iPad, and I hit shuffle on the CC and Dammy Love Musicals playlist, and it played the 4 songs from the new cast album that you had added all in a row. It was crazy. I was like, wait, this is on shuffle. What's going on? All 4 in a row. It was pretty funny. So, and what else have you been listening to?
Dave Malloy finished putting out his playlist that each track of The Great Comet has been inspired by, and so I finished listening to those.
Cool. Very, very cool. All right. I think this is everything for this segment. It's almost 26 minutes long. Craziness. So we probably should move on to the next one.
Now we're going to talk about our March, April, May Sheepy Spring Owl.
Yes. So this started on the 1st of March and it runs through the 31st of May, which is a week from today, a week from when we're recording this. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us is related to spring. Our major rule is that no whips are allowed. So it has to be a project you started March 1st or later and that you finished by the 31st of May. We have, feel free to polydip in other owls as long as it meets the rules, including ours. So you could put a project in the spring owl and also in the awesomest owl in the galaxy. Or you can also put it in things like Vegan Jilly's Knitting Broomsticks 13 Months of Magic owl. Stash Dash obviously is coming up. Diane from the Suburban Stitcher podcast is doing her Around Your Neck cowl is what she calls it, but owl, because we're trying to rename it. All of them. So feel free to polydip. That is totally fine as long as it meets the rules. We have lots and lots of lovely prizes that are on the screen right now. A huge thank you to our sponsors who donated them. If you'd like to see photos of them up close and or links to the sponsors, you can go to
geekygirlsknit.com.
Yes. So every project you finish and post in the FO thread counts as one entry into the giveaways. You must be a member of the Geeky Girls Knit podcast group on Ravelry to participate. The hashtag is GGKSS17. Okay, and there is a chatter thread, and then let me tell you this before Dammy tells you who finishes projects this week. So this owl ends next Wednesday the 31st. We are recording the next podcast next Wednesday the 31st. However, we would like to get all of these prizes sent out before we move so we don't have to bring them in our luggage to the U.S. So what we're going to do is next Thursday, the day that this podcast goes live, we are going to close the thread like we would normally do, the FO thread. We're going to draw for the prize winners, and then I am going to PM all of you, and then we will announce them publicly on the
All the winners.
Yes, all the winners, not everyone. All the winners, I will PM you on Ravelry. And then we will publicly announce those winners the week after that. So like the 7th or whatever date that is. But you will have 30 days from the date I PM you. So you will have till the end of June to claim your prize or you forfeit it. But please contact me as soon as possible with your address so I can get these posted out. Because we don't have a whole lot of space. We're not shipping anything. Everything that's coming to the U.S. is coming with us on the plane. So I really need to ship out all these prizes ahead of time before we leave. So if you have entered even one project into the spring owl, check your Ravelry PMs next Thursday, June the 1st.
And also the Space Owl.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that when we talk about the next one. We will be announcing those as well. So, so please check your Ravelry PMs next Thursday, especially so that if you are a winner, you can get your information to me as soon as possible. Okay, Dammy, why don't you tell us who's finished projects this week?
A1 Darwin, Anna Robin, Army Wife 2102, Blue Flame 0, Catman and Robin, C. Howard 06, Crafty PW, Dueling Needles, Eleanor Gamgee, Hook and Stick, Ingard Stoka, Jamie BB 1975, JP Music 15, Kana Soup, Carlene Page, Cat Wings, Kersey S, Knit Central, Nitty Moomin, Lady M, Long Tall Katie, M. Dorham, Missy K. Schmidt, MVA5493, Rad in NH, Scrap Dash, Skyly Knits, Sylvia 1002, Twisting Pearls, and Yarn Taxi Driver.
Yay, great job, everybody. So again, please, if you've entered even one item into this owl, please check your PMs next Thursday, June the 1st, to see if you are a prize winner. All right, let's talk about our other owl.
And now we're going to talk about our awesomest owl in the galaxy.
So this is a owl that we are co-hosting with my BFF, my best fiber friend Jilly, Vegan Jilly on Ravelry from the Knitting Broomstick podcast. It started on the 1st of May and it runs through the 30th of June. It's for any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin. My tail is getting caught in my yarn. Any project you knit, crochet, weave, or spin that you can convince us relates to space. So you can do any of the space fandoms. You can do anything related to outer space or rockets or planets. There's been several that were planet kind of the rings of Saturn or whatever. Or
do something inspired by moons.
Oh, that would
I
be
love
cool.
moons.
That would be really cool.
I'm biased towards moons.
Why are you biased toward moons?
The moon.
Tell them so they
Great
know.
Comet. That's Natasha's song.
Yep.
She loves the moon. And Andre, but maybe the moon slightly more. But also Andre. And the moon.
Can I talk now?
And Ansel. She's 19. She can't make up her mind.
Or if you need a fallback, you are on the planet Earth, which is in the solar system, which is in the Milky Way, and you are working on that project in those places.
Unless you're in space somewhere else watching this.
Yes. If you are, oh my gosh, you better PM me because I need pictures. Okay. Our main rule is, again, no whips are allowed. You have to start your project May 1st or later and finish it by the 30th of June. Again, feel free to poly dip in other owls. That's totally fine. We've got lots of lovely prizes. They are on the screen right now. A thank you to everyone who donated a prize to the owl. If you'd like to see photos of them with more detail and or links to the different shops that donated prizes, you can go to
geekygirlsknit.com.
That's right. So every project you finish and post counts as one entry into the giveaways. You have to be a member of both the Geeky Girls Knit group and the Knitting Broomstick group on Ravelry to participate. The chatter thread is in Jilly's group, in the Knitting Broomstick group. The FO thread is in our group. The hashtag is awesomest, GGKTKB. All right, we're doing things a little different on this one because we don't want to have to bring all these prizes back over to the U.S. with us. So next Wednesday, when we are ready to record the podcast, actually probably a few minutes before because we'll need time to do it, we are going to draw for prize winners from everyone who's entered thus far for the prizes that we would be shipping out.
How many is that?
That is
6. Use the mouse.
there we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9.
9 prizes. So, if you want to be considered for the first round of prizes, you need to have your stuff posted by, I would say, the 30th, by Tuesday. Because we will draw those prizes sometime Wednesday, probably mid-morning, to give us time to be ready to do the podcast. When we do that, well, on Thursday, when I PM all of the spring prize winners, I'm also going to PM all of those all of the Awesomest Owl winners. And you'll have 30 days from the date that I PM you to claim your prize, to give me your information. But please, 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 again, please check your Ravelry PMs next Thursday, June the 1st, if you've entered anything in the Spring Owl or the Awesomest Owl. Because I really, really would like to get all these prizes shipped out before we come over. And then the remainder of the prizes, the ones that Jilly is going to ship out, or that the sponsor is shipping or gifting, if it's a pattern or whatever, those will be drawn on the first podcast of July. And then you'll have 30 days from the date that airs to claim your prizes for the second round of prizes. So again, please, 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 please check your PMs if you've participated in the Sheeby Spring Owl or the awesomest owl in the galaxy. All right, Dammy, we have quite a few people who finished projects this week, so why don't you give them a little shout out?
Okay. A1 Dawan, Adventures in Dinner, Army Wife Knit Life, Blue Flame Zero, Cape Netic Knitter, Catman and Robin, Ingard Stoka, JP Music 15, Knit Central, Kristen Sabi, La Joya Girl, Margot Mo, Owls and Orchids, Radin NH, Shirley Knits 123, Skyly Knits, Sylvia 1002, Vixter 048, and VT Kimmy Kim.
Great job, everybody. So keep working on those projects. If you, like I said, if you want to be considered for the first round of prizes, make sure your stuff is posted by next Tuesday, and we'll draw for the first round of prizes Wednesday morning. And please, please, please check your PMs on Thursday. Please. Please, please. Please. Do you think they know that I want them to check them?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Please. Okay. All right. Well, we have a question to talk about, so let's move on to the next segment.
And now it's time for Ask the Geeky Girls, the part of our show where you ask us things and we answer them.
So this week the question is for Dammy, although I can assist with it if you would like. Okay, so this question is from Jane, who is JC Stormy on Ravelry. She's from Wisconsin. Dammy, I'm wondering if you've been homeschooled all your life or just since moving to Edinburgh. Regardless, has your high school curriculum been based off of U.S. education standards or England education standards? Was attending a Scottish high school an option, or because you're only there on a visa was this not an option? Congratulations on completing high school. I'm guessing the past few years have been a bit more challenging, but what an accomplishment. Because Dammy is finishing high school this week. I feel like we need like confetti and stuff. Ta-da!
No
So like
confetti.
the Jane Eyre outing, and we went out for lunch before that. That was kind of Dammy's graduation thing. But, yeah. Okay, so Dammy, do you want to start in on this?
Sure, I have been homeschooled most of my life, all but 2.5 years. Yes, and that was in elementary and middle school. So I've been homeschooled the rest of that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You want me to talk about the next part?
Sure.
Okay, so when we came over here, we decided that, okay, because Dammy is finishing high school at the same time that the Hubs is finishing his PhD. And when we came over, we did not know if we would be remaining here after that or going back to the States. And we knew that if we stayed over here, if she had finished the equivalent of a U.S. high school education, that she would be able to get into schools over here if that's what she wanted to do. But we were unsure of if we had part U.S. education, part Scottish education, how that would transfer into being able to get into university in the States. So we decided to stay on a basic U.S. system. What we did was we looked at several universities, like my alma mater, that was in my alma mater, as well as some other schools, including private and state schools, to see what their requirements were for homeschooling students to enter. And then we put together a plan based on that. And what we did is we at the beginning of her high school, we looked at the 4 years. Like, we knew she would have to have math every year, English every year, history every year, science every year. And then there was other stuff like PE and speech and I don't know, various other things that she would have to have. And then there was all these electives that she could choose what to do. So we kind of like tentatively laid out, we laid out all those ones that had to be every year, and then tentatively laid out the other things. And then at the start of each year, we looked at that list and we're like, okay, you have 2 elective credits that you can take this year. What do you want to do? Which a lot of them were theater for you. You've also done some Bible classes and theology with Daddy, with the Hubs. And so that's kind of that's the system we based on. We did think about you going to school over here, to a traditional school over here. But again, it came down to that same thing I was just talking about how it would go into a U.S. university system. And so that was kind of the final decision of why we went that way. You Do you have anything to say about all that?
No.
Okay. Do you have anything? So now, right now, you are finishing being homeschooled. You're finishing high school this week. You're finishing being homeschooled this week. How do you feel? I feel like I'm in like one of those things like, you have just won the Super Bowl. What are you doing next?
Going to sleep.
You're supposed to say going to Disneyland. Or Disney World.
Oh.
We're not going there. That's what they usually say, though, in the TV. So how do you feel?
Tired.
It's been a lot of hard work.
Yes.
If you had it to do all over again, would you want to be homeschooled or would you want to go to regular school?
I don't know. Probably homeschooled, I guess.
Because we did consider leaving you in regular school after when I... So the time that Dammy went to a regular school was when I was finishing up my Master of Divinity degree and the 2 years I was a hospital chaplain. And then y'all know the story if you've been watching for any significant amount of time, that I had to stop working because my fibromyalgia was so severe that I was in a wheelchair. And so at that point, we asked you, do you want to keep going to traditional school or do you want to be homeschooled? And you were like, I want to be homeschooled. So that's why we took her back out of that. And I think part of the thing for you, I mean, I don't know, I'm kind of speaking for you, but you can agree or disagree with this. Part of it was you were when you've been homeschooled, you have been able to finish your schoolwork usually by lunchtime, and then having the rest of the day to, do what you want to do. You've done a lot of reading, you've done a lot of art stuff, you've done a lot of knitting and design and such. We've done lots of museums and trips and things that you probably would not have been able to do if you had been in a traditional school.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably kind of boring sitting around waiting for people to finish stuff when you finished stuff ahead of time.
Yeah.
Would you agree with everything I said there?
Sure.
Is there anything else you want to say about homeschool?
Really?
I feel like we need to do the pomp and circumstance. Dun, 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 while you're processing into your graduation ceremony. Dun,
I'm not
dun,
having
dun,
a ceremony.
Dun, we're having it right now. Dun, dun, dun,
I don't
dun,
want a
dun.
ceremony. No.
All right, let's move the tassel to the other side.
Oh, good lord.
Congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thanks, pal. I don't know.
You don't get to wear a cap and gown.
That's okay.
It's okay. We went and had Mexican food instead.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. All right. Have we answered Jane's questions?
I think so.
I think we went a little above and beyond to answer your question, Jane. Okay. If somebody has a question for us, what should they do?
Go to the Ask the Geeky Girls thread in our Ravelry group and post it.
All right. Let's move on to the next segment. We made it to the end of the show. Oh my gosh, there were so many finales. Oh, holy crap. And make sure and check your Ravelry PMs on Thursday, the 1st of June. Please. Okay, but we have some other announcements.
Ooh.
Are you ready? Summertime and the living is easy.
Ow.
We'll be starting on Thursday, the 1st of June, which is when you need to check your PMs. If you would like to donate a prize to the owl, what are you doing to me?
You're covered in wool.
Well,
It's like an apron.
it's better than being covered in dust.
Okay.
I'm gonna gather it all up and spin it.
Ugh.
It's just wool
You
from
don't
my
have a
things.
spindle anymore.
No, I don't. We sold them all. If you'd like to donate a prize, please PM me, Java Pearl, or email us at.
geekygirlsnet@gmail.com.
That's right. We do have some prizes already, but if you'd like to donate one, let us know. The Striations Along that is being hosted by our virtual assistant Deb, who is Science Knitster on Ravelry. She's hosting this Striations Along.
Or Sal.
She's hosting the Striations along. Striations is a shawl pattern that I designed, and it's a 2-color pattern, but it's a very easy beginner pattern. So if you've wanted to knit a shawl and haven't adventured into that yet, you should check out the pattern. She is hosting this in our Java Pearl Designs Ravelry group, which is different from the Geeky Girls Knit Ravelry group. It's 2 separate groups. And she started on the 1st of May, and it's going through the 31st of July, but she is allowing lips. So if you started one and never finished it, you should join. All right, upcoming podcast dates.
Ooh.
Because I checked my bujo, and I'm ready to tell you. Next week, episode 245 will release as normal on Thursday, the 1st of June.
Which is when you need to check your PMs.
The following week, episode 246, will release as normal on Thursday, the 8th of June. Which is a week after you should check your PMs.
If you haven't checked your PMs by then, you should do it.
Okay, and then episode 247 will be releasing a day late on Friday, the 16th of June. Which is when we have to move out of our flat. I'm expecting it to be a much shorter episode. It is being delayed because the Hubs has his Viva where he defends his dissertation on Wednesday when we normally record. And then episode 248 will most likely be 1 to 2 days later than normal, depending on how we recover from moving and jet lag. But we'll be coming to you from Oregon. And we may have a guest host. Okay, so that is the plan thus far. We will keep you updated in the announcements thread in the Ravelry group if that changes, or on social media, because you can always find us, especially on Instagram. That's the main place. Instagram and Ravelry are the 2 main places you can find us. All right, do we have any other announcements?
I don't think so.
That's checking your PMs on the 1st of June. We'd like to say a humongous thank you to everyone who supports the podcast, whether it's by watching, commenting, giving us a thumbs up on YouTube, asking questions, participating in owls, participating in hashtag GGK Crafty Pad, giving us reviews on iTunes. I don't know. However you help. We love you, we appreciate you, and we're so grateful for each and every one of you. A big thank you and love goes to those of you who are able to help support the podcast financially. There's 3 ways you can do that. The first is Patreon, which is a website where you pledge a certain amount of money every month to your favorite creatives, and then you receive rewards based on your level of pledging. And we're still working on the details for how some of the prizes are going to, or some of the rewards are going to have to shift when we move back to the States. We will update you as soon as we know on that. However, if you'd like to know more about Patreon or you'd like to sign up, you can go to
Patreon.com/geekygirlsknit. Yes. You're supposed to say.
Oh, what's another way they can support us financially, Dammy?
We have a PayPal button in the sidebar of our website if you would like to make a one-time donation.
That's right. We are also Amazon.com and .co.uk affiliates. If you're going to shop on Amazon, if you click through our website first, Amazon gives us a little money back based on what you purchase. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it's a great way to support the podcast by doing something you'd be doing already anyway. And that money primarily goes to shipping out prizes, which there'll be a lot after next week, after June the 1st. Dammy, where can they find out more about all this stuff, and where can they find us online?
You can find us at geekygirlsknit.com. There are links to everywhere else we are online. YouTube, iTunes, Ravelry, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc.
I need to do one more row and bind off. So with that, we're going to tell you goodbye. We hope you have a lovely, lovely rest of your week. Again, thank you so much for everyone who has reached out to us after our announcement last week, who participated in our D-Stash. We're just so grateful. I mean, we've told some non-knitters, muggles,
Yeah.
about the way that the knitting community has been supporting us through all of this, and I think they can't even really grasp it. They don't realize how just kind and generous the knitting community, the fiber community is. So we're grateful for every one of y'all. So we got a lot to do, so we're gonna let you go. Happy knitting. Hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.
And now I present to you the graduate of the class of 2017.
I'm not done yet. Can we be done now? Why not?
So I have to let you process.
I'm sitting down. What am I processing?
You are mentally processing.
Processing.
No, it's a procession.
I'm done now. I'm done processing and processing.
I'm not done. This is important. I'm gonna cry now because this is emotional.
This part of the graduation thing? Really?
I don't know, sometimes maybe.
Okay, can you stop it anytime?
This is Sir Edward Elgar. His Pomp and Circumstance, March #1.
That's nice. Okay, we're done now.
But I'm emotional now.
We're done now. We're done now.
Do you not realize how emotional this is for your mama?
Done now.
Okay, but you're not listening to me. I mean, you're grown up. You have graduated high school.
Not yet.
Well, pretty much. I mean, like, this is a big deal.
It doesn't feel like a big deal.
It is a big deal. I'm gonna get confetti and throw it at you.
No. That will make a mess that I will have to clean up.
Not if we do it outside.
That is littering and bad for the environment.
What if I get biodegradable confetti?
Then I suppose it's okay.
I'm gonna go find some. Congratulations, graduate of the class of 2017. I'm very proud of you. I'm being serious now.
Okay.
I'm very proud of you.
Okay.
And I love you very, very much.
Okay. I love you. Okay. Okay.